Good evening. Welcome to No Heart Left Behind's 2021 Heart and Soul Virtual Gala and Online Auction. My name is Alicia Stickles. I am the Executive Director of No Heart Left Behind and your host for this evening. No Heart Left Behind is a faith-based, family-focused ministry that looks to empower families to thrive with the Word of God and the love of Christ through our counseling, mentorship, and community outreach programs. Many of you are familiar with our in-person Heart and Soul Gala, so we are going to do our best tonight to pack the same fun into this evening. Now, we have ordered these events for you tonight, but at any time feel free to press pause or deviate and experience the gala your way. So what you can expect from us tonight is to learn a little bit more about what we do here at No Heart Left Behind, followed by a fabulous wine tasting hosted by Adam Acostapace. And then we invite you to listen to more stories of lives impacted by No Heart Left Behind while you enjoy your delicious meal catered by Bosco's Italian Cafe. While we wish we could celebrate with you in person this evening, we want to make tonight as interactive as possible. So we have some virtual giveaways for you this evening. There are 3 ways that you can participate. The first is to hop on over to our Facebook page, give us a like, tag a friend, and post a picture of your gala experience. The second way that you can be entered into our drawing is to follow us on Instagram and tag Nhlb in your gala picture. And then the final way that you can participate in the virtual giveaways is to head on over to our YouTube page. Yes, we have a brand new YouTube page that we would love for you to know about. And all you would need to do is head on over there, No Heart Left Behind, and subscribe to our page. If you do any of these, you will be entered to win in any or all of our 3 virtual giveaways. At the end of the evening, we will be going live on Facebook to draw the winners, and we will post your names at the end of the evening. You can also check out all of our Facebook throughout the night and let us know how your gala experience is going. Now, before we dive into our evening, let's hear from our founder, Abby Shields, as well as the testimony from Jeff and Shelley Sonnenberg about how No Heart Left Behind has worked in their lives.
My name is Abby Shields, and I'm the founder of No Heart Left Behind. I wish I could have a video of my former life and what I used to be like and what my children saw versus what this family is about today. My story is I went from being an individual who had no self-esteem, self-loathing, totally feeling inadequate, to an individual who God has raised up and picked me up out of the muck and mire. I'm married. I've known my husband for 51 years. I met him when I was 18 and he was 17, and we've been married for 48 years. And it is that experience of 48 years that we use to teach our marriage classes, because if God can heal our marriage, He can heal any marriage. Because in our marriage we've had to struggle with infidelity. My husband lied to me about a situation in his life, and which ended up us losing everything financially. But then being able to come out of that on the other side, grateful that we experienced the loss of everything, because through the loss of everything we gained a relationship with Jesus Christ. The counseling services that we provide are individual, one-on-one counseling, where if someone's just struggling with an addiction or anger or some type of behavior that is not honoring to the Lord, that they'll come in and we'll see. It is totally biblically based. I am a belief therapist, and belief therapy looks at the dynamics of what you believe to be true then is what you think on, and what you think then creates an emotion, and then what creates an emotion creates an action. If you want to change the action, you want to go all the way back to your spirit, which is where your belief systems are formed. Our marriage counseling is very, very successful and very, very in demand, because one of the things the men especially love in our marriage counseling is that I don't have the women tell me all the horrible things the man does, or the man tell me all the horrible things the wife does. What I do in that counseling is that I have each of them look within their own hearts, and then they look into their own hearts, and then they look to Jesus. This is a much needed ministry, and we so need the support of this community and beyond, because I believe with all my heart that Satan is attacking this nation one heart at a time, with one family at a time, in a world that is just literally not looking unto him, but looking to their own devices. And so what we really try to do with this ministry is to bring a place where families can come to be able to have their heart wounds healed and to be able to be transformed by the renewing of their mind. Well, here we are 14 years later, and we've had just a beautiful time. And that has been so true about if you get a little, you do a little, and if you get a lot, you do a lot. Through the years, we've been down to $7.47 in the checking account with bills to pay, but God always came through. We've always practiced the spiritual mathematics of 5 loaves, 2 fish, and Jesus, and He can truly create a multitude with 12 baskets left over. And so that's our financial end of it. That's how the ministry has continued totally on faith. One of the problems that I had when my husband and I were having issues is that we couldn't afford to pay the counselor for as much counseling as we needed. And so I vowed that if I ever became a counselor or was able to help people, that I would not charge. I will not peddle God's word for money. It's not what He calls me to. But yes, we do need to pay our bills, and so we just ask for some type of small offering so that I can continue to do what I do.
Here we are.
You know, my name is Jeff Sonnenberg, and Shelley and I have been married now for 43 years. Remember, 43 years, that's a long time to be with somebody.
Hold on. We dated we've been together 47 years, and I always say those dating years,
They're fabulous, weren't they?
I mean, that's a lot of invested years in someone, and I wasn't looking forward to. I mean, I'm old. I wasn't looking forward to being old with somebody else, if there was somebody else, and I don't think that could have ever have happened. I've always said I don't believe in divorce. So you marry me, you're going to get a fighter. I'm not going to give up. But I was. His family was not a very demonstrative type setting for him.
German, if that means anything to anybody.
And so, anyway, it was, all these things that I thought marriage was supposed to be, and I worked, and he was never around. I mean, he worked pretty much 7 days a week, and in some, developments that he was on, it was nonstop.
I didn't do enough of thinking about Shelley and our daughter. I was always too interested in what I was doing to make things good for the family, the job thing. So I'm getting my strokes and whatnot from my business side. And I think a lot of guys can relate to this. And when you go home, it's the dailies. It's this, it's that, it's going to this place or that dance review, or helping with dinner or not helping with dinner, and not understanding how difficult the role of a wife and a mother is.
And I was exhausted. But I kept digging it out every day just to try to make everything happy. And it was very hard. I wanted things to be perfect for when he got home. I wanted my kids to always have happiness and to see us loving on one another. We were heading for Abby doesn't like you to say this, for divorce, which is something I never wanted to do. And I always said that when we got married, there will be no divorce. And here I am thinking it. And so she set me straight and started making me think different ways and looking at a totally different perspective on what marriage should be, can be, and ultimately is. Before, there was no happiness, and thankfully our kids were out of the house because they were not used to seeing that type of mom and dad situation. I mean, they've always, held us up like, we want our marriage to be like you or yours, and you were like, okay. I mean, you're living in a different life, and I guess it was pretty, I don't know, there was a lot of hate. There was a lot of hate, and that's not in my heart. We've been knowing Abby for about 45 plus years, and then we were friends, and we kind of lost touch with one another, and one day we ran into each other because we moved over here, and one day I decided to call her because we were having issues in our marriage, and so I said, Abby, I said, tell me, I said, do you know of a good marriage counselor? And she said, what? And the rest is history. And she said, well, how do you think Jeff would feel about coming? And I said, I don't know, but I'm going to talk to him about it. And he was a little apprehensive, but she did it really well. Abby decided that she would see me first and kind of get my temperature on what was going on. I would get in there and just cry like crazy, and I had this pillow, right? She has this squishy pillow, and I would always take that pillow, and I think the more I talked, the more I managed that pillow, and
Mangled it.
I did.
It was probably awkward for me. I didn't know if that would work, seeing an old friend and discussing some issues, but it did. It was very comfortable, and she's a real pro at it, and her counseling being based on Jesus Christ and making that an important part of your life, which we had not done as a couple, really. I think the apprehension is you don't like to admit that you were not successful in a relationship. And if I'm speaking toward two guys, rather, don't get caught up in your ego and your thought about you can solve all your problems. Sometimes it takes a little while.
Because I could really see him changing too, and that was my goal. And I didn't want him to change for me. I wanted him to change for the betterment of both of us and leading the life that we should be leading. It was over a course of many visits, because it just doesn't happen. We didn't get there overnight, okay? It was through many, many years of bad habits, and it was just the perspective that Abby had on how things should be, and everybody's different, so you have to incorporate what fits us. And I think her love, her love for her family, her love for the Bible, the Word, and just, it was like, wow, I want to be like her one day.
At the end of the day, it's, if you try to be more Christ-like, not just in your marriage, but in your life,
That's right.
things change. The things that are rough are not as rough. The successes you take with a little more humility, I think. And at the end of the day, people start to see that in you.
All I can say is, if anyone is thinking about leaving, and if they can, and if that love is there, but you just need some glue again, that she's the person. And the whole organization is wonderful. They were always there for us, and we can't thank them enough. They saved us.
Thank you, Jeff and Shelley, for sharing your story with us. Now it's time for our featured event, the wine tasting, hosted by Adam Acquista Pace. So grab those bottles and wine glasses, because it's almost time to pop those corks. In between each tasting, you will have a few minutes to freshen your glasses and pour the next wine. While you go and grab those first selection, the Prosecco Rosé, please enjoy some music from our entertainment from tonight, local Hammond duo Joe Burns and Naomi Narcisse. Cheers!
All right, here's a tune by a relatively unknown artist named Adele.
Just stop.
Adele.
Just,
It's Adele.
Adele, if you're watching this, we're so sorry. We're so sorry. We're so sorry.
When we used to say goodnight, I'd always kiss and hold you tight. But lately you don't seem to care. You close the door and leave me standing there. Oh, baby, that's not fair. So is it, baby, I quit. I'm moving on. The other night we had the date and you showed up 2 hours late. And though your hair was all in place, somebody spit their lipstick on your face. She spit it every place, yeah. So that's it, baby, I quit. Moving on. Oh, you make me want you. You make me need you. You make me tumble and fall. But if I can't have you, I want you. I don't want you at all. Baby, I can take a lot 'cause I love everything you got. And boy, your kisses do me so. If you got someone else, I gotta go and let you know. So that's it, baby, I quit. I'm moving on. Oh, you make me want you. You make me need you. You make me stumble and fall. But if I can't have you, I want you. I don't want you at all. Oh, baby, I can take a lot 'cause I love everything you got. And though your kisses feel me so, if you got someone else, I gotta go and let you know. So that's it, baby, I quit. I'm moving on. So that's it, baby, I quit. No, I'm moving on.
Cut.
Welcome to this evening's wine tasting. I am here at Aquistapace in Mandeville, here with Adam Aquistapace, who has joined us this evening to do our wine tasting. Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. I appreciate you having me. So what we're going to have tonight is we're going to have 3 different wines. So a sparkling wine. It's actually a sparkling rosé, a white, and a red. And so we're going to talk a little bit about them, but because you guys are going to be tasting them. But I picked 3 what I felt were unique products. So we're going to be trying Italian. We're going to have Italian food. So we're going to have some Italian wine. So the first wine that I picked is Savino Prosecco Rosé. Now Prosecco and rosé for a long time never seemed to go together because it was if you were grown in that area, you couldn't call yourself a rosé and a Prosecco. So Prosecco, for a long time, was actually known, people thought of it as a grape variety. And so what the Italian government did and the producers in that area, what they tried to do is they tried to protect the name Prosecco. So the grape variety that they grow there is actually called Glera, G-L-E-R-A, Glera. And for such a long time, as they made Prosecco, it was only white. So if you saw something that was rosé from there, they could only call it a sparkling rosé wine from the area. So this past year, the Italian consortium created its own DOC that is a DOC rosé, and so that's what we're gonna taste tonight. But also in the process, I want to kind of show you guys a little bit of tip about opening a bottle of sparkling wine, because we hear a lot about people blowing these tops off. And so this may be some practical information. So one of the tips is what you want to do is you want to loosen up the cage. And so this not only applies to Prosecco, but this applies to any sort of sparkling wine. The colder the wine is, the better it is when you're going to open up the bottle. And so what you want to do is you want to loosen the cage, because I know a lot of people are scared.
Yes.
Scared and nervous. So you'll see a lot of sommeliers in restaurants. They'll actually throw a little rag over the top. It's a little safety precaution, because in a bottle of champagne, that cork is coming out 7 miles an hour.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. So this is really the trick. What you want to do is you want to cover the top of the bottle and you want to hold on to the cage. You loosen the cage and the cork, and you want to hold the cage and the cork still, and you want to turn. You actually turn the bottle slowly, and you want to slowly watch the cork come out. This bottle is not extraordinarily cold, but really you want to hold it, and you just want to let it barely
Very nice.
push out. Now look, this is the real trick though. If you keep the bottle at a 45-degree angle, it will never overflow.
Really?
Yeah, that's right. So here we go. So here we go. So here we have some Prosecco Rosé for you.
Now, when I drink wine, I'm normally a red drinker.
All right.
I don't drink a lot of sparkling white wine. So,
Okay.
elementary level difference. What makes a prosecco as opposed to?
So Prosecco comes from the area just north of Venice.
Okay.
In the hills of Conegliano and Valdobbiadene.
Okay.
And so this is just south of like the Dolomite Mountains. And
Okay.
up in the northeastern part of Italy, like on the border of Slovenia.
Okay, so it's really defined by the region.
It's the region, yeah.
Okay.
So Prosecco is like a place name.
Oh, okay.
So before it was people referred to it as a grape variety, but to protect, so you couldn't just make Prosecco in Australia or
Okay.
California. They defined the grape variety as Gala, and only the wine that's made in this area can be called Prosecco.
Okay.
And now that they have rosé, and so in this case, so the difference between this and like champagne is this is made in a method called Charmat.
Okay.
So Charmat, Charmat.
Okay.
And so what they do is actually ferment the wine in the tank. So in this case, this is a blend of 90% Gala and 10% Pinot Noir. So a lot of times, the way to make a rosé is you take red grapes,
Okay.
and you crush the red grapes and you pull the skins off. And when you pull the skins off, the skins, they just stain the juice. And that's where you get the rosé from. So they're blending 10% Pinot Noir in here and then 90% Gala.
Okay.
So as you smell it, it's going to, and so the style is actually extra dry. So extra dry, it doesn't translate very well because you're like, oh, well, this is really dry.
Right.
Well, dry is actually what we would consider a little bit sweet. So if you see a sparkling wine that says brut is even drier than extra dry.
So dry actually means sweet.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
That's right. There's some residual sugar in there. So if you taste this, you smell it. It almost smells like raspberries and strawberries. On the flavor, on the taste, you can taste a little bit of sweetness in this wine, but this is the magic of bubbles. Bubbles give a perception of dryness.
I would agree because when you first taste it, it's very sweet,
Yep.
but then the finish,
The bubbles
makes it dry.
That's right. So this is a pretty versatile wine. That's one of the great things about sparkling wine. Sparkling wine in general is versatile. It's a great food wine because those bubbles give a perception of dryness, and they actually help cleanse the palate. And so this is actually something you could even have with like something spicy a little bit.
Okay.
Would actually pair pretty well. But in general, most people drink Prosecco is either something that's celebratory or it's like an aperitif. And this Savino Prosecco Rosé is absolutely excellent for that. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and thank you very much. So our second wine of the evening is Marco Bonfanti Roero Arnese, and they actually call this wine Perste, so it's named after the Bonfanti's daughter. So one of the reasons we picked this wine, I think, first off, Italy has like 800 different grape varieties that are indigenous to Italy. So there's so many different grapes that you may never even recognize, but that are similar to things that you already drink. So this wine is from the area of Piedmont, and so Arnese is the name of the grape, and so it's kind of clean and crisp, but at the same and zesty, but it does have a little bit of body. So Marco Bonfanti has been in the same family for 8 generations.
Okay.
So it's like the brother and sister have kind of taken over. So
and the name is quite a mouthful.
It is.
I'm very impressed with your pronunciation.
It is a long name. So this wine here, Arnese doesn't get a whole lot of love. But this comes from the area of Piedmont. So Piedmont is kind of like on the opposite side of Italy. So we're going to go to the western side, heading towards France.
Okay.
And so in the Roero Hills, and so that area is really known for the grape variety Nebbiolo, which is a red grape, and Barbera, which is another red grape. Lots of red grapes there. But the white wines that are known there, actually a lot of you guys really love some of the whites, but you may not even know that it's from there. So Arnese is kind of doesn't get a whole lot of love because it gets overshadowed by the other grapes, Nebbiolo and Barbera and Dolcetto. But most people know the area is from Moscato d'Asti, and so Moscato is often made in a sweet style. But the area is really, they're known for great dry white wines, and Arnese is just that. So give it a try and tell me what you think. It's got a pretty nose, a slightly floral. It's dry and clean and crisp.
Very clean.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
very crisp.
so the vineyards that this comes from are the hills of Monferrato within that area. And that's a real red wine area, but this Arnese that comes from here, and so the name of you have the bottle probably in front of you, but Arnese is an older grape variety that is indigenous to the area, but just makes very fine, very crisp. But at the same time, this wine kind of has a little bit of body, huh? Mm-hmm. So you're gonna get a little bit of almost get like a slight little almond note on there.
It's very clean. What would you compare it to as far as something that's more?
So most people would kind of compare this a little bit to like a Pinot Grigio, except it's got a little bit more weight to it.
Yeah.
It's got a little more weight. It's got plenty of acidity. This wine is a 2018 vintage, so it's still fresh and young. But I would say this is kind of like in between a Pinot Grigio, maybe like an Albarino, if you've ever had an Albarino before from Spain. It kind of has a lot of those similar notes and textures. But I would say that this is a fantastic wine to have with fish or with salads. It can stand up to a lot of things, even something that maybe have a little bit of creaminess to it, because that acid, that clean acid on the palate, that is going to also act as a palate cleanser. Just like we had the bubbles from the previous wine, the acidity in this wine is going to act as a palate cleanser, and it'll really kind of accentuate the food, and it'll have a little bit of citrusness in the wine. Is going to have a similar, I guess, feel that you would get on your palate when you squeeze like a lemon or lime over your fish.
So would this pair well? One of the selections for dinner tonight is the crawfish cream sauce over penne pasta.
Yes.
And or lasagna. So this would probably go well with that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So this is a very food-friendly wine.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I really like a lot about Italian wines is wine in Italy is made in such a different way than we're accustomed to here in the United States. We make wine as kind of like a cocktail, but over there, wine is not a cocktail. They may have like a prosecco as an aperitif, but wine is food. And so when wine is food, you treat it very differently, and wine is made differently. So they like higher acid wines because a higher acid wine that's clean and crisp, those wines actually pair with food better than something that may be high alcoholic, that's big and sweet in style. Not that there's not a place for those things, But over there, their wines are, in general, a little bit more, I guess, a little bit more calm, a little more feminine, a little bit more elegant.
I do really like the crispness
I do too.
of this. It's very clean. It's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, so Marco Bonfanti, Rara Arnais, Perste. This is a family-owned winery. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
All right, hiya folks. Joe Burns again, Naomi Narcisse, Brick Wall. Gonna do some comedy for you. Actually, little Ray Charles.
Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
What'd you say?
Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more.
Oh woman, don't you treat me so mean. You're the meanest old woman I ever did see. But I guess if you say so, I gotta pack my things and go.
That's right, hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more.
Now baby, don't you treat me this way. 'Cause I'll get back on my feet someday.
I don't care if you do, 'cause it's understood. You ain't got no money, you just ain't no good.
Well, I guess if you say so,
I do.
you gotta pack my things and go.
That's right, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no more.
Oh, baby, you don't mean it.
Don't you come back no more.
Come on, you've already paid the
Don't you come
rent.
back no more.
Do I have to leave my
Don't you come
keys?
back no more. Don't you come back no more.
If I'm leaving.
Don't you come back no more.
Can you make me a
Don't you come
sandwich?
back no more.
Need a sandwich?
Don't you come back no more.
Something for the road.
Don't you come back no more.
Sandwich.
Yay.
Sandwich.
No, you
Key,
can make it
sandwich.
yourself.
The-
Mayonnaise, mustard, meat.
Yeah.
Slap it on.
Is it in the fridge?
No.
So for our third wine of the evening, we have San Michele Valpolicella Classico Superior. So you know, a lot of people have heard of Valpolicella, and they're not, but because it's an older style wine, but a lot of times people are not really sure what it is. So
That would be me.
Yeah. So all right. So we're going to go in northern Italy. So all three of these wines are from northern Italy. We're going to go to Verona, the old city of Verona, and we're just going to go a few miles outside of Verona. And so that's where these vineyards are located. So Valpolicella is oftentimes a blend of the grape varieties. So there's three different grapes that are really important in the area. One is called Corvina, Rondinella, and Molinara. And so the best wines are made with Corvina. And then Rondinella and Molinara, those are, I will call them a little bit more minor varietals. There's a few other ones that they'll blend in, but pretty much every wine you'll see is predominantly Corvina, because that's like what Cabernet Sauvignon in that area is to Napa Valley. Okay. So this producer right here, San Michele, so they make a handful of different wines. Most of them based. They even make some Pinot Grigio, but most of their stuff is really based on wines made in Valpolicella. So in Valpolicella, there are quite a few wines that are made. So when you're perusing the aisles, you will notice, just for Valpolicella, you will see regular Valpolicella, Valpolicella Classico. You'll see Valpolicella Classico Superior. So it has a little bit finer selection and has a little bit higher alcohol content.
Okay.
And then there's another style of wine called Ripasso, R-I-P-A-S-S-O, Ripasso. And so Ripasso means like to pass over. And so what they do is they take these grapes and they dry them out on straw mats for about 3 months in these warehouses. Well, I say straw mats, now they're doing them in these plastic containers, but traditionally it was done on straw mats in these barns, and they would dry these grapes out, and then what they would do is they would use those dried grapes to make another wine called Amarone. So Amarone would be real big and rich and powerful because they're using dried grapes. And so they would take some of those grapes and they would actually pass over the wine, they'd pass Valpolicella wine over those grapes and create one called Ripasso. And so Ripasso is even higher alcohol than this and even a little bit more intense.
Okay.
But I tell you what, I think San Michele's Valpolicella Classico Superior is probably one of the better deals out there because you get a lot of those rich flavors. And the Classico means it comes from the historical area. So just like Chianti, so if you see Chianti Classico, so Chianti Classico is a place. Valpolicella Classico is a place. So it's a delineated area. So all the grapes have to come from within the classical or historical region. So let's try the wine.
Okay.
So these wines are almost always blends. So people will say, well, why don't they put the grape variety on the label? Well, that is a very new world, new thing to do. That putting varietal labeling on a wine really started to become fashionable really in the 70s in the United States. But throughout the rest of the world, it had nothing. They didn't really care about what the grapes were because the farmers cared because that's what they grew. But it was all about the place. So it was all about the region in which it's from. And so in Europe, they've created these entire classifications of wines and foods and cheeses, and it's all about the place in which it's grown, the historical place, and those things are very important. So in this case, it doesn't say anything about the grape variety, which is mostly Corvina in here, which is the highest quality grape to grow in Valpolicella. But it doesn't say anything about that, so it's just it's kind of understood. So a lot of times people say, well, I want a wine that's a blend. Well, most all wines that you have, especially red wines, are blends.
Okay.
That's right. So there's a whole slew of wines on the shelf that we've created red blend sections. And red blend sections were created because with the consumer in mind, because they're looking specifically for red blends.
Right.
So let's try the wine.
Almost a little bit, I don't want to say the word sour, that's not
I know, it's a great.
Is that a good
great.
word?
It's like
I don't know if I can
No, it's
say
great. So it's like a red cherry, like a
Yes.
sour red cherry.
Yes.
You smell that? Yeah. So this wine spends some time in barrels. So when I taste this wine, I can't help but think about Italy.
Yes.
This is a very, to me, Italian wine almost has like this rustic redness to it. And I think some of it's a function of the acidity in the wine, but a lot of the wine, it almost has like a little bit of a rusticity. Is that word? Rusticity?
We'll go with that word.
Yeah,
yes.
rusticity. And I definitely taste that in this wine.
I do too now.
So
that
this
you
is
say
a
that.
very classical style wine, but it's got a beautiful color. It's dark, it's a little bit ruby, but it's not, but you can see through it. But the nose is very pretty. It's got like those like dark kind of like red cherries, and you do get that kind of like that sour red cherry smell you taste. That is because that is the acid. And so when you look at a wine and you see a red color, this is really important. So higher acid wines will have more red in the color. A lower acid wine will be more purple in color. So this is a definitely higher acid, but this has a clean and crisp sensation, just like the white wine. So
yeah, you said the alcohol content on this is higher.
It's slightly higher, yeah. So this says 13%. So a lot of times you'll see regular Valpolicella is probably about 12.5% in general. So it's slightly elevated because it's slightly richer.
Okay.
But so as you get higher in alcohol gives a perception of sweetness. So even though the wine may not be sweet, the alcohol will give a perception
Will
of
make
sweetness.
it sweeter. I was just going to ask you that, how the alcohol level affects the taste.
Yeah, so we're tasting a couple. So this is a 2015 vintage, so we've got almost 6 years of aging on it. So it's softened, it's given the wine a little bit of time to soften up. So the wine naturally has tannins. And so those tannins also act as a preservative. But between the tannins and the acid, that's what you're getting, like that drying sensation in your mouth. So tannins, you ever steep a bag of tea too long and you get like that metallic flavor, that metallic taste, and that's tannins. And this wine has tannins in here, and some of these wines can age for a really, really long time, and that's one of the reasons why. But in this case, this wine is made for drinking, and so I would say that anything you have, whether it's meats or pastas with red sauces or pretty much anything, this is a very good high quality food wine.
Is there any particular, I'm a cheese girl.
Yes.
So is there any particular type of cheese that you think would pair well
You
with
know, there's a lot of stuff, but I would say a classical pairing, or maybe not classical, but I think a great pairing would be Pecorino cheese.
Okay.
Italian Pecorino cheese, actually from Tuscany, whether it be the aged variety or the fresher variety, which we have in our stores. When we have like 600 different cheeses in the store, it's a bit ridiculous. So we have a lot of different things, but anyway, so I picked this wine because I thought that no matter what you guys are having for dinner, I felt this would be a good wine for you guys to pair it with.
It is delicious. I think this is my favorite of the night.
All right.
So Adam, thank you so much for joining us. So this was my favorite. So guys, we want to know what your favorite is. So hop on over to our Facebook page, No Heart Left Behind, and post what your favorite wine was. Welcome back. We hope you enjoyed the wine selections for this evening, and we are dying to know what was your favorite selection of the evening. Hop on over to our Facebook page and tell us what your favorite wine was. Okay everyone, grab your wallets because it is auction time. I'm here with my friend Jennifer Massett. She is our auction coordinator this year. Jen, thank you so much for being here with me. Just wanted to ask you a couple questions because not everybody knows how to do an online auction. So first off, how do you access this online auction?
Okay, all you need to do is use your phone or your computer and go to 32auctions.com/NHLB. Party host, you should have already received the link in your inbox and with your wine gift package.
Okay, so if I've never been to this site, do I need to create an account in order to participate?
To view the items on the auction site, you do not need an account, but you do need to create an account if you plan on bidding or purchasing an item or making a donation.
And I have already done that. I've created my account. It's super easy. It takes like 20 seconds to do. It's just name, email, super simple. So now once I've created an account and I get to see all the items, I know there's a couple of options as far as how to either bid on the items or purchase the items. Can you talk a little bit about that buy now feature and what I can do?
So there are two different options. You can either bid on an item, hoping you get it for the lowest price, or you can buy it outright with the buy it now option.
Okay, so the buy now option, if I just want to take out all the guessing, if I want that item, I can just hit that. And the good thing about everybody who is participating in our gala tonight is that you have first access to all of these items. So that's a really great feature. Now, when it comes to the bidding, how do I know, like let's say I bid on an item, how do I know that I have been outbid?
Okay, so when you bid on an item, you have two different options for bidding. There is an exact bid and there's a proxy bid. So when you're looking at an item, if you decide that you are going to spend a max of say $25 on this item, you can either enter it as an exact bid and bid that one time, or you can enter it as a proxy bid and the computer will automatically bid the lowest bid up until your max.
So let's say if I see an item that I am willing to pay anywhere from the lowest bid, let's just say $25, but the most I want to pay for it would be $50. I could do that proxy bid and then the computer would automatically go to my max?
Yes.
Okay, well that's really nice. Okay, and now what about paying for these items? How does...
Okay, so at the end of the auction, which will be Monday at 8 p.m., you will automatically get an invoice sent to your email that you've registered with your account, and you will just follow the prompts to pay your balance online. You can use debit card, credit card, or a PayPal account.
The auction, like Jen said, the auction is going to remain open until this Monday at 8 p.m. So you have the advantage to check out these items and hit that buy now option before anybody else gets to see the items. But after our gala is over tonight, the public will have the opportunity to bid on those items until Monday at 8 p.m. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Awesome. Okay. Jen, is there anything else you would like to add about the auction?
Just that we ask you to bid generously. This is all going for a great cause. You're not giving your money directly to a big box store. We've got lots of fabulous items, small things like small gift certificates to bigger trips and wonderful pieces of art.
A Joe Burrow football.
Joe Burrow football.
Lots of outdoorsman kind of packages, hunting,
Yes.
fishing. I mean, it
Yes.
really is an amazing auction. And here is the great part, is that really at the heart of our ministry is to pour back out into our community, because we believe that stronger families make for stronger communities. So the money that is raised tonight goes towards our minimal operation costs, but everything else we turn right back out and pour it out into the community to help families who are struggling, either socially, emotionally, financially, because it really is about empowering families to thrive. Well, everybody, get bidding. This is the time to do it. And Jen, thank you so much for being here with
You're
us.
welcome.
My name is Evelyn Breaux. I came to find No Heart Left Behind from my mom. I was in a really dark place in my life, and I think my mom was just desperate to try and help me get out of the slump that I was in, and she connected me to Abby. I mean, if you would have looked at me a year ago, I would be unrecognizable. I was an absolute train wreck. When I was 12 years old, was diagnosed with diabetes. And I really prayed hard for a healing. I really felt like God told me that, the healing would come, but of course, what I was praying for at the time was trust. So Jesus said first he wanted to teach me how to trust, and also that he would use diabetes in a big way before he would heal me. So the healing will come, but first I have to get through these two things. And it really started to affect my faith, because I really let that go into the back of my head. And so every time I would go to the altar, I would feel very discouraged coming back, not seeing the healing. So my faith really started to deteriorate. And then through that, I started to, instead of looking for love and approval through Jesus, I went through boyfriend after boyfriend, heartbreak after heartbreak, looking for love in all the wrong places. And that led me to drinking, and my senior year, I started to drink really heavily. On Mardi Gras of 2016, I was actually raped. And I remember coming down the stairs because my parents, found out that I had been drinking the day before, and they were very upset. And this wasn't the first time that they had caught on to me, pushing boundaries. And so I knew what the punishment was going to be. I was going to walk down the stairs. They were going to take away my phone, take away a few other things, And I remember walking down the stairs and absolutely nothing. They had nothing to say to me. And at that moment is when I completely let go of my faith, because I felt like if my parents didn't have the faith to even punish me in hopes that I would do better, then why should I? Right after high school, I think like 2 weeks after I graduated, moved out of my house and moved in with a boyfriend at the time. I got pregnant at 19 years old. Of course, I wanted to give my daughter the best life that she could possibly have. So I decided to marry the guy that I was with, and that definitely, didn't work out. I started to go back to church because at that point I was really lost, really wandering. I started to go back to church, really get involved. My husband did not, and so that was really the main thing that broke us up was, I was on this path with Jesus and he wasn't, and it was really hard to stay with someone, in the same household, especially with that. So we got a divorce, and I was doing really great for a while. And then a couple months after we separated, I got into another relationship, because apparently I didn't learn my lesson the first time of not looking for love in the right places. And I started to date someone very seriously. And in November of 2019, we please save me in this moment and keep my daughter safe, who was asleep in the next room. And I remember that was the moment that I was like, that's it, that's enough. I need to take my mom's advice. I need to go do something about this. And that's when I went to go see Abby. And in the most loving way possible, she helped me get back to health. She helped me get back on my feet. She helped build the relationship that I have with Jesus. And truly, if it was not for Abby and No Heart Left Behind, I would still be wandering. You know, I had that Christian backing that my parents had given me, but Abby helped make Jesus real for myself. I get people all the time from church or just people who'd known me back then saying, oh, I see such a difference in you. And that really is thanks to Abby. The biggest tool that Abby's been able to instill in me is showing me how to use Christ's love. That tool has made my life so much better in every aspect. I'm able to be a better friend, a better daughter, and especially I've been able to be a better mother for my daughter. What drew me to Abby's methods is the fact that she counsels from the Word of God. So I can trust her. I know that what she's telling me and the guidance and advice that she's giving me is sound, it's truth, it's safe. And that really played a big role in how I was able to succeed in No Heart Left Behind. I hope, you know, as you look at me, what you see now is Jesus' spirit living in me. I want to say thank you, because if it weren't for your donations and your sponsorships, then I and so many others would be so lost. This is truly a unique ministry, one that is so needed in this community. And without No Heart Left Behind and without Abby, I wouldn't have been able to get my feet where I needed to plant them. So thank you.
My name is Jason Doyle, and this is my lovely wife, Nicole, and we've been married for coming up on 10 years.
We were led to No Heart Left Behind by some friends and just kind of coming to some brick walls in our marriage. We didn't really know what No Heart Left Behind was all about until we went to the marriage class. We definitely needed some healing because we've been through some really rough waters, and we were just kind of really looking for almost a mentor to guide us. Biblically was very important for us to find somebody in some ministry, and that was going to implement those biblical understandings and truths into our life.
Some of the things that have been different about our experience in the counseling with Abby is, as opposed to following a purely clinical, regimented, course or curriculum, we can tell, we're prayed up, Abby's prayed up before we go into it. We kind of let the Holy Spirit lead us into paths. And a lot of times when we sit on the sofa, she, before we even say a word, she knows exactly what we're there to kind of talk about, so it gives us comfort that we're in the right places. And I think one of the biggest things we're learning is the importance of knowing, who the real enemy is in a marriage and a relationship. And when we know who the enemy is, then you learn how to fight the enemy. We've learned a lot of techniques and tools on how to do that. We've also learned that it's our daily pursuit to conform our lives and our marriage to be more Christ-like. So there's a lot of surrender involved in that, a lot of laying down our own goals, our own needs to serve our spouse, or as we go through that pursuit.
I think that that's what's missing in a lot of counseling sessions, is that we'll look at an issue and put it in the middle of us, but she is so good to put us side by side. And probably the great thing that's come out of all of this in our marriage, besides being awesome, I would say it's gotten a lot better, but just we want to do the same thing that Christ did. So he was a teacher, and he was an influencer, and he didn't have to control the environment just because of the love he showed. And that's what a marriage is. We're supposed to be a mirror basically to the world so they can see Jesus. And so that's what we want to show as Jesus.
Yeah, so since we've started going to counseling, I think people not only see differences in us, but they want to know what is the difference. And we've actually referred quite a few people. We've been able to use a lot of the strategies and things that we've learned just to try to help uncover some things that they may not actually see in their life, and kind of help connect them to getting some formal counseling. And they're going through the same experiences and getting the same feedback that we enjoyed, and we're just amazing to see God heal their marriages and have their marriages flourish as they're going through it as well. Probably the way that this counseling is most significantly different from other counseling is it's all volunteer donation based. So it's not like you get a bill in the mail. Unfortunately, a lot of the people that need help can't afford the help that they need. So it's important to support the ministry and to create an opportunity for people who don't have the same blessings or the same opportunities that others have, and then to sit down and donate for the counselors that donated their time and then not have a charge that goes with it. Is just really representative of the name of the ministry. No Heart Left Behind. I mean, they have a heart for hearts that are out there and really want to make sure that those people that need it have the opportunity to get the help that they need.
All boats need a lighthouse to guide them so they don't come up on the rocks, and that's really what this ministry has done for us. It's just been a lighthouse in our life. And it's not about us, it's not about our marriage, it's just really about the enemy attacking marriages at an alarming rate, and us seeing people failing left and right, and it breaks our heart. And we've been through a lot, so we know what point A looks like and what the end looks like. And so we just want to help as many people as the ministry does with our own marriage. So if we can refer back or support, it's really near and dear to our hearts.
The world is not over, even though Drew Brees is retired. Y'all listening to me? You sure you're okay?
Yeah.
You gonna laugh at me the whole time?
No.
Okay. All right. My name is Scott Lee, and I'm here today with my wife Leah, and we have been married for 28 years.
I started coming by myself in 2017, probably about a year before he and I started coming together.
I was a typical male. I don't need to go talk to anyone. Counseling is for the weak. I can handle my business. That couldn't have been further from the truth. When I was given an opportunity to go see Abby here at No Heart Left Behind Ministries, it was absolutely eye-opening. The amount of attention, the amount of caring, the amount of truth.
It was straight from the Bible, and that's what I needed to hear. I needed someone to tell me the truth, not necessarily what I wanted to hear, but what I needed to hear.
The things that are discussed in the counseling sessions that Abby uses as tools to help you look better, more within yourself, those things help you become more self-aware. They also help you to be more educated in what's in the book of truth, what's in the Bible, and how you can relate to that.
I would say my prayer life is definitely over the last 3 or 4 years has been what holds me together.
I start my day in prayer. I take time during my day to pray. I have daily readings that Leah shares with me that help me to make it through my day. And I recognize that when I turn to Scripture in the morning, or even in the middle of the day or in the afternoon, it's speaking directly to me. So I would say that my day is different now because I start in prayer and end in prayer daily, and recognize the many blessings that not just I've been given, but my family's been given. And I've been blessed with a beautiful and very loving wife.
I think that Abby is definitely a
vessel straight from God. I really do believe that she saved our marriage. I really do believe that she was sent to us, and she is the vessel that God used to save our marriage.
I think that this ministry is an absolute blessing to our community, and people who are apprehensive about counseling, I would encourage you to look deep within yourself and take the opportunity. Write the check, bust out that stack of 20s from the mattress, give up that communion money you've had folded in your wallet for 25 years, and help some people out that really could use the help.
Because all the money goes directly straight back into
the ministry.
The ministry and helping other people. So it's definitely worth it. The money is going to a good cause and to help other people.
I'm Allie.
And I'm Joe. We've been married for 14 years. So moving back home from San Diego, I noticed that we were in transition. I noticed a lot of areas in our marriage that I knew we needed to work on. And for many years, I always thought that counseling was something that you went to when there's a problem. So I pursued counseling thinking that we were going to do counseling in case there was something wrong, to prevent anything. I thought we were building a strong foundation because we had a pretty good marriage.
After we started counseling, little did we know that there were a lot of things that were that hadn't surfaced, that needed to surface in our marriage.
Yeah, the biggest thing with Abby is she always points you back to the Bible. And as a believer, we can know the truth, go to church, but the chaos of life, work, 6 kids, jobs, you tend to forget the Bible. And so she would always pursue teaching us the truth, loving God, walking justly, understanding mercy. And Abby would always show me that I've not arrived yet. Abby just had a way for Allie and I to not feel judged, to not feel like we have it all together. It's a safe place, it's a confidential place, and most importantly, it's a powerful place because I've seen areas that we know that we needed victory in our life, and together we've come together better than we were before.
What I love and value the most is that she helps you understand how to truly apply Scripture to your marriage. And I think a lot of us know in our mind, we know Scripture and we think that we understand it, but we tend to sometimes forget how to really apply it to the moments that we really need it the most, especially when it pertains to our marriage. I would say that especially as we walk through counseling with Abby and we continue to walk through counseling with Abby, with ministry, it's been amazing to walk with other couples and also have more empathy. Because as we've experienced some of our own struggles and as we're walking through them, not only is Abby helping us through Scripture to equip us, but then it helps us to then turn around and equip other people.
One of the major areas I've seen in counseling, a few couples, I haven't counseled as many people as Abby, I'll tell you that, but what I've loved to see with counseling is I bring my wife in a lot of times when a couple comes into our church. And the reason I do that is I believe we're a team. And I think Allie and I coming together and connecting with couples, oftentimes we see that the enemy makes people feel like us, like you, that you're alone and that you're isolated. You're the only one going through what you're going through. That's not the truth. And the biggest encouragement I would say, because of all the needs that I've seen, is there's an enemy that's trying to kill your marriage. He does not want you flourishing. He does not want you serving one another, and he does not want you stepping into your gifts that God has given you as a family to have ministry in your life. And Allie can speak to that because I've watched her connect and talk with these ladies and these mamas in these counseling sessions, and it was so much more powerful because it was coming from her and not me. Why are you laughing? You're making me feel like what I'm saying is not right.
No, you're just cute.
That I'm the best husband you've ever known in your entire life. I think today we have a great depression in marriages. People are divorcing in the church just as much as they are in the world. And there's a major depression going on in marriages. And people on the front line, like Abby and No Heart Left Behind, this ministry is a safe place that's funneling life-giving change into marriages. And I believe that's going to restore our nation, but I think it's going to start with one couple, one person at a time. So your investment would help literally our marriages get out of a Great Depression. You could drop the mic on that one.
That was
Holy
good.
Spirit, I'm done. I gotta go.
That's perfect.
You need to keep. You're good at this. You did a great job.
Wow, such powerful stories of healing and restoration that have all been brought about by God working through No Heart Left Behind and through supporters like you who give so generously to support the work that we do here at this ministry. This concludes our programming this evening, but no need for the fun to stop. We have a fabulous lineup of songs from our dynamic Hammond duo, Joe Burns and Naomi Narcisse, to play out the rest of your evening. Thank you again for joining us and partnering with us to help empower families to thrive with the Word of God and the love of Christ. Have a good evening.
By a band called Lake Street Dive, and it's her favorite band,
It
ladies and
is,
gentlemen.
but I'm doing this for all of you Lake Street Dive fans out there. I know I'm not the only one.
Yep.
Come on.
Piece of
Come
music
on.
trivia. The song is written to what's known as the Bo Diddley beat. And once you hear it, you'll hear it in 1,000 other songs.
You ruined it for everybody. You may be my problem, not my love. Yeah. But I'd be lying if I said you were too sweet. One quite sure you got a bite. I could say that you were just a special treat. We both know that that's not right. You may be my problem, not my love. 'Cause you go down smooth. Ooh, yeah. Would it be true to say you go to my head? Or is that sentiment too bad? Oh, I could say make it seem to go to bed. You break the bed, and I'm afraid to go. And I too sober not to know that you may be my problem, not my love. Whew. 'Cause you go down smooth. Go down smooth.
about that? All right. How about an original? Yes, please. Back before COVID, what was that, 2 years ago? Whoa! When we could be downtown shoulder to shoulder, person to person, I was asked to play one of the local stages at Hot August Night. You could ask again, because I'll come. And I just thought it would be fun to write a song called Hot August Night, and couldn't find rhyming words, and it just wasn't coming together. I then looked at Google Map, looking down at Hammond, and I found all these neat little places in Hammond that all tended to rhyme with one another and such. So when you listen to this, it is mainly a song about Hot August Night and humidity and all those things that happens in August. But during the verses, listen to all the references of all the different places that are in Hammond, America. And it goes like this. There's a whole lot of wonderful water in the air, a whole lot of women concerned with their hair. It's a little bit warm, but it feels alright. Take a walk with me on a hot August night. Well, we'll meet around 8 on the corner of Cape. We'll see your mom and a mariner, that would be great. You get a little hungry, you have no fear. I know a funky little joint that sells tacos and beer. Me and Eddie are freshened up. I got a love right here in a plastic cup. There's a whole lot of wonderful water in the air, a whole lot of women concerned with their hair. It's a little bit warm, but it feels alright. Take a walk with me on a hot August night. Well, it's red and white, and it's probably good old Brady's coming with us. Have you heard the news? We'll take the road to meet Tommy and his giraffe. I gotta buy you a book that needs an autograph. Football's coming, so line up. I got a love right here in a plastic cup. There's a whole lot of wonderful water in the air, a whole lot of women concerned with their hair. It's a little bit warm, but it feels alright. Take a walk with me on a hot August night. Take a sweet roll off to Weston to church. There's a yellow bird sitting on a yellow perch called PJ. We're gonna be late. The city of New Orleans made us stop and wait. I am here in a pickup truck. I got a love right here in a plastic cup. There's a whole lot of wonderful water in the air, a whole lot of women concerned with their hair. It's a little bit warm, but it feels alright. Take a walk with me on a hot August night. Sure that's in tune, but that was the song. All right, how about a little bit of blues? This is a song called Hey Hey. You might know it from Eric Clapton's Unplugged LP, but the original I think was by Muddy Waters, but I know the big hit, the one that succeeded, was by Big Bill Broonzy. So it's one of those two, but you probably know it from Eric Clapton. A little bit of blues, not a lot of words, a little bit of fretboard stuff here. Hey, 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 baby, hey. Hey, 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 baby, hey. You know I love you, baby, but I sure ain't gonna be your dog. Hey, 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 baby, hey. Hey, 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 baby, hey. I got my arms around you, baby, and all I can say is hey. baby, but I sure ain't gonna be your dog. Hey, hey, you lost your good thing now. Hey, hey, you lost your good thing now. You had me fooled, but I found you out somehow. Hey, 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 baby, hey. What? I'm like, are we recording?
Yeah.
I brought my guitar.
You're the one who pressed the button.
Move, get in your light, because you have light. I don't have light.
And just for that,
And just for that. Oh.
it'll be just me today.
I didn't care about it. I left when you made a fuss. I didn't care if I paid today for my yesterday or if we were through. I didn't care about you, but now I guess I do. I didn't care about this or that, a tit for tat away you were. Stopping me is like stopping a train, and my mama said that you were gonna drive me insane. Love, 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 baby, what you do to me? Love, 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 love is bigger than the deep blue sea. Yeah, oh, the world is deranged, like something has changed. I got a Jones for you, baby, like a shot through the brain. Love, 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 baby, what you do to me? I didn't want an affair. I never thought I would care. All the wine and roses, love and pose is what I would wear. I didn't want to go soft. That's why I cut it all off. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm a feminist. I won't be kissed, at least that's what I thought. Stopping me is like stopping a chain, and my mama said that you were gonna drive me insane. Love, 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 baby, what you do to me? Oh, love, 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 love is bigger than the deep blue sea. Oh, yeah. Oh, the world is deranged, like something has changed. I got a Jones for you, baby, like a shot through the brain. Love, 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 baby, what you do to me?
It's about time.
I didn't care about it. I laughed when you made a fuss. I didn't care if I paid for yesterday if we were through. I didn't care about you, but now I guess I do. I didn't care about this or that, that's it, but that away you were. Oh, stopping me is like stopping a train, and my mama said that you were gonna drive me insane. Love, 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 baby, what you do to me? Oh, love, 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 bigger than the deep blue sea. Oh, yeah, the water's deranged, like something has changed. I got Jones for you, baby, like a shot through the brain. Love, 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 yeah. What you do to me? Love, 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 baby, what you do to me? Oh yeah, love, 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 baby, what you do to me? Yeah.
Wait, you want me to press the red button? This,
That's the
we're
red
recording.
Are the numbers moving?
Yes.
Seems to.
Okay.
Yeah. Billy Ray was a preacher's son, and when his daddy would visit, he'd come along. When they stand around and start talking, that's when Billy would take walking. Now through the backyard we go walking. Then he looked into my eyes. Lord knows to my surprise, the only one who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. The only boy who could ever teach me was the son of a preacher man. Yes, he was. He was. Oh, yes, he was. Yeah. Being good isn't always easy, no matter how hard I try. When it started sweet talking to me, kiss and tell me everything is alright. Kiss and tell me everything is alright. Then I slip away again at night. The only one who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. The only boy who could ever teach me was the son of a preacher man. Yes, he was. He was. Oh, yes, he was. How well I remember the look that was in his eyes, stealing kisses from me on the side, taking time to make time, telling me that he's off mine, learning from each other's knowing, looking to see how much he grown. And the only one who could ever reach me was the son of a preacher man. The only boy who could ever teach me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was. He was. Oh, yeah. It was a sweet talking son of a preacher man. It was a sweet talking son of a preacher man. Yes, he was. He was. Yes, he was. Teach me something new, yeah.
Did you record that?
I'm not doing it again.
Go look. Touch. This is from the 1940s, and I believe Nat King Cole had the big hit with it. But if you were a crooner of that time and you could touch a microphone, you also probably had a hit with it. And it goes like this. Now if you ever plan to motor west, travel my way, take the highway, that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66. Winds from Chicago to LA, more than 2,000 miles all the way. Get your kicks on Route 66. Goes through St. Louis, Joplin, Missouri, Oklahoma City, looking mighty pretty. You see Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico, Paso, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Pasto, Reno, San Bernardino. Don't you get hip to this timely tip when you make that California trip. Get your kicks on Route 66. Get your kicks on Route 66. Get your kicks on Route 66. Hi, everybody. Quick question. Can you remember your mother's favorite musical artist? I can. Glen Campbell. There was this Glen Campbell variety show. It lasted an hour, and she used to make me leave the house. Get out of the house for an hour, kid, because I want to watch Glen Campbell. And this was her favorite. It's knowing that your door is always open and your path is free to walk. That makes me tend to leave my sleeping bag rolled up and stashed behind your couch. And it's knowing I'm not shackled by forgotten words and bonds and the ink that stains and dries upon some line. That keeps you in the back roads on the rivers of my memory, keeps you ever gentle on my mind. It's not clinging to the rocks and ivy planted on their columns now that bind me, or something that somebody said because they thought we fit together walking. It's just knowing that the world will not be cursing or forgiving me when I walk along some railroad track and find that you're moving through the back roads by the rivers of my memory, and for hours you're just gentle on my mind. Through the fields and the clotheslines and the junkyards and the highways come between us. And some women's always crying to their mother 'cause she turned and I was gone. I might still run in silence, tears of joy might stain my face, and the summer sun might burn me till I'm blind. But not to where I cannot see you walking on the back roads by the rivers, you're just gentle on my mind. I dip my can of soup from a gurgling, crackling cauldron in some train yard. My beard, it's a coal pile, a dirty hat pulled low across my face. Through cupped hands round tin can, I pretend to hold you to my breast. You're waving from the back roads of the rivers of my memory, ever smiling, ever gentle on my mind. There you go, that one's for you, Mom. I have a confession to make. I'm not from here. Yes, I know. Please stay in your seats. I'm from up north. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. However, I've lived here for 22 years. My kids are from here. My kids grew up here. My wife is originally from the South. But I gotta tell you what, being a Yankee, which is what I am, when you arrive this deep in the South, just even a couple states down, the change in language, words you use all the time, I had never heard before. I had to ask what a lot of stuff actually meant. I was being insulted and I didn't know it. So I decided to write a little song about it. I'm a Yankee and this is the South. And so I am a Yankee in the South. I'm a Yankee in the South. I'm a Yankee in the South. I found my brand new homeland neath that Mason-Dixon line. I'm a Yankee in the South. I'm a Yankee in the South. You can tell I wasn't born here when I open up my mouth. Ready for the lesson? I learned to eat supper when I used to eat dinner. Everything's a Coke, and I'll holler at you later. Tea is cold and it's sweet, and bread is a treat. It's a buggy, not a cart. I am trying, bless my heart. Oh, it goes on. I don't buy, I make groceries. And my children all say y'all. It's a po' boy, not a poor boy. And I take the access road. Up north it's called the service road. You know, because there's services on it. I wanted stuffing, I got dressing. And I reckon that is right. Hold my horses, get some sugar, and I always cut out the light. Why? I'm a Yankee in the South. I'm a Yankee in the South. I found my brand new homeland neath that Mason-Dixon line. I'm a Yankee in the South. I'm a Yankee in the South. You can tell I was not born here when I open up my big fat mouth. Here we go. I don't eat bread, I eat biscuits. There's no mustard on the table. Why is there never any mustard on the table? I mean, people look at me like I'm insane. There's mustard everywhere up north, 7 different kinds. They look at me like I'm saying, can I have some mustard? Really? And then I get those little pillows full of mustard. I just want some mustard, like a big thing of French. You got 7 hot sauces. Aren't they all hot? God bless banana pudding and that little lobster boil. Oh, my first crawfish boil was an eye-opener. I like chicken. I like waffles. I like shrimp. I like grits. But why are they together? Oh, it's weird, but it fits. It's not a snow cone, it's a snowball. Except it isn't round. It's a parish, not a county. Lagniappes all around. Round is neutral, our food is dressed. How's your mind then? Cher is not the singer, and O's E-A-U-X. Like Go Tigers, G-E-A-U-X. I'm a Yankee in the South. I'm a Yankee in the South. You can tell I wasn't born here when I opened my big fat mouth. Thank all y'all, for listening. There are some artists that are just eternal. No two ways about it. 100 years from now, on whatever music device we're playing our music, maybe something in the head, chip, something like that, so it's a constant earworm, these people will still be played. I don't have blue eyes, but I can play the music.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. Are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. With song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, in other words, in other words, I love you.
Gonna play a song here on the guitar, even put a tambourine inside of it for a little bit of percussion along the way. This is a statement, a question. If you've just seen him or her across the room, you've been dating, you've been like me, married for 33 years, this is something you should ask every single day.
I wanna be your partner, can't you see? The music is just starting, night is calling, and I am falling. Dance with me. Fantasy would never be so thrilling. I feel free. I hope that you are willing. Pick your feet up and kick your feet up. Dance with me. I let it lift you off the ground. Starry eyes and love's all around us. I can take you where you want to go. Let it lift you off the ground. Starry eyes and love's all around us. I can take you where you want to go. Oh, oh, dance with me. I wanna be your partner, can't you see? The music is just starting, night is calling, and I am falling. Dance with me, dance with me, dance with
Folks, I'm Joe Burns. That's Naomi Narcisse. We're going to sing a song for you.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I can cook. I can sew. I put a button on your shirt with my eyes closed. I can take. I can drink. I put a potion in a glass to knock you right on your ass. I can drive. Man alive. I do 100 miles an hour right before your eyes. Oh my gosh, darn talented son of a gun. A jack of all trades, but a master on one. I can make you love me, and that's a fact. But ain't nothing in the rules to say I love you back. I can kiss happiness, sweeter than candy, not to be missed. I can walk, roll and ride. I'll leave you lying on the ground. I can sing. Duh, here's this thing. I'm a songbird, baby, like a coming spring. Oh my gosh, darn talented son of a gun. A jack of all trades and a master on what. I can make you love me, and that's a fact. But ain't nothing in the rules to say I love you back. I do one thing good, no, one thing well. It's just who I am. I don't mean no compare. I just fit on your head like a boxing glove. A jack of all trades and a master of love. Oh yeah. Oh wait, I've got more. I can fight out of spite. I'm a little on the draw, but I'm dynamite. I can pray, by the way, and with God I'm a hit, I'm his favorite. I can work, it's a perk. I'll be a CEO or a soda jerk. Oh my gosh, darn talented son of a gun. A jack of all trades and a master on one. I can make you love me, and that's a fact. But ain't nothing in the rules to say I love you back. Ain't nothing in the rules to say I love you back. Ain't nothing in the rules to say I love you back.